So we're finishing up on this $1 million motorhome here. It's a good thing we were doing some service on it because some of the things that we found in the transmission here with the drain plug are kind of shocking. Also the filters in it. It's a good thing we went in after these filters on it. It's kind of a common problem to get failures on these Allison transmission filters, but it's kind of shocking. Wait till you see it.
Yeah, I'm not sure the last time this transmission got serviced if it actually had the fluid changed. Look at the drain plug here on the transmission. It's so stripped out. A, how did they get it out? And then B, would they put it back in like that? And how did they put it back in? We're gonna have a hard time getting this out, and we fought to get it out. The fluid looks pretty nasty in there. This thing only goes in at 24 foot-pounds. It's got a rubber O-ring on it, and it gets torqued to 24 foot-pounds. So somebody either put it in way too tight, and then they put it back in like that. We ordered a new drain plug, but that's crazy. Yeah, here's the instructions that say to do it to 24 foot-pounds for the drain plug. And the fluid that came out didn't look very good either. So I don't know. I think maybe they tried to get it out and they just gave up on it and maybe put new filters in it.
So this is a trans filter on this Allison. It's from 2021, so it's only 5 years old, which is, still you should change it probably a little more frequently than that. But it's all busted up. The plastic is broken and cracked in there. It definitely would have been allowing it to pass some dirt. It has like a metal end cap that's supposed to be on there, and it was just all in pieces in there. So the glue had come undone, and there you can see where the cracks were in the plastic, where there's like residue of the metal that's been going through there. Yeah, that's not good. Well, it's a good thing that we're changing it. This is the other one. This is the other filter. It's a 2-filter system, and look at that. And you can see in the housing where those little lines are at, that's where those cracks are, where the dirt was bypassing the filter. That thing is junk. And it's genuine Allison. That's the Allison symbol, right? That's not supposed to even come apart. This piece is not supposed to be on there. Crazy. There's the brand new drain plug, the world's most expensive drain plug. It's got a magnet in it.
So we got these 4 rear calipers. We got all the new slide pins put in them, rebuilt. Everything's good to go on the calipers now. We're putting new wheel seals in, cleaning up the wheel bearings and everything. Bearings look good. So just finishing the maintenance on that. Again, we had 4 of these that we had to redo. 2 of them are the new style, 2 of them are the old style, but we were able to get them all working good now. Everything's greased up, ready to go. We got one going back on here. We have the upper and lower A-arms or V-links installed here, so both sides. Just got to finish getting this one all torqued up on here. And then this one's installed on the other side as well, uppers and lowers. And then we'll re-grease that upper one after the test drive as well. But yeah, that was a big job on the front end suspension. The sway bar links are in.
We got the new bushings installed on the sway bar links. The one side, if you remember, was completely missing. When we took them out, they were so brittle you could break them in half just by touching them with your fingers.
Yeah, here you can see this one's all worn out. It was completely missing.
We're going through some more maintenance on the MCI bus here that we got into earlier this week, finishing up some of the stuff on it. We got that suspension swing arm in really good shape for or not swing arm, but the tag axle suspension all fixed up on it. Saved him some money on that, and we're just going to have him keep it greased and push that one down the road for a while. Replacing the exhaust manifold gaskets that were leaking on it. His turbo boost was only about half of what it should have been, so we should see a lot higher turbo boost on it as well. He's got finishing the airbags on it and everything, fixed some air leaks, rebuilt a pressure regulator on it. Just a few other things along the way too.
This was the diaphragm and that pressure regulator for the parking brake. The DD3s that sets the pressure when you apply the parking brake so it doesn't get too hard on there, too high of an air pressure, but this diaphragm was bad. So got that rebuilt. And then the tag axle, if you remember how bad it was when we put a pry bar under it, you can see how much it's moving in there. So we took that apart. The shims were completely worn out on it, worn all the way through on the one end. Those are supposed to be like a 1/4 inch thick. So we put new shims in there and greased everything up and got it put back together. And now it's like rock solid when we move it. Look at this thing, doesn't even budge. Awesome.
So there's no play.
No play.
Here you can see that the exhaust manifold gaskets were obviously leaking. You can see the soot all around there on both of them. Both sides were leaking pretty significantly. We got new spray bottles for our soapy water. So that last one, if you saw the last video, that one exploded on George when he was carrying it to the shop. That was crazy. We're scraping off any gook here on the exhaust manifolds before we're going to throw them on the belt sander and just clean them up a little bit, but we got to get these chunks of stuff off here, and the carbide tip scraper is really good at cleaning these up. But we need to make this as flat as possible so it seals up good to keep the turbo boost where we need it. We replaced this filter here. This goes in for the air system. Something you're supposed to drain every day, and it collects oil and dirt, and this one was just falling apart and in bad shape. Plus the gasket had failed on it, so it was leaking a lot of air. We need to replace an exhaust manifold stud, and there's coolant behind the stud. So in order to take the coolant out, or take the stud out, we don't want to lose coolant. So we run a shop vac to create a vacuum on here so we can remove the stud without leaking coolant.
Ready for it? Turn it on?
Hold on, let me make sure I can do it by hand. Yeah, you can start.
Okay. If it starts getting water coming or coolant coming through there, just back it off the distance a little bit.
Okay. It seems like water more than anything.
You could probably go ahead and stop, right? You got it in?
Yeah, it's in.
Did you put Protex on it?
It has the stuff on it.
We ran it through the belt sander once. We're going to do one more time. There's still, I don't like how there's some uneven surface on the bottom there. A lot of corrosion and stuff. We need to make sure that this is as flat as possible. So let's run it on the sander one more time. Yeah, that cleaned up really good. We have a lot more chance of being successful with this sealing now. Still some pitting on there, but it should seal up. All the new airbags are on. We haven't leak checked them yet. We got a couple more things in the air system to tidy up on here. We got a new belt on the back. The belt was in pretty rough shape there for the cooling fans. The exhaust manifold gaskets are now on and torqued. Everything's sealed up good. That should work out real well. Both sides are done, so new gaskets on both sides. And just the one stud that we had to replace. So I went and did some tool shopping for the new cart here, the new toolbox. Got some new wrench sets here. These are ratcheting wrenches. I didn't have anything like that out here yet. And then got a new chisel punch set. This is just stuff from Amazon. Another tube of the right stuff, a seal puller, and then these are the angle head wrench set. I have a nice set of snap-ons in the shop, but these were much more affordable and something I'm not worried about keeping outside here in the shop. That's a pretty decent seal puller, and it came with a extra puller tip. These look to be decent little ratcheting wrenches. They're 72 teeth gear heads. I got metric and SAE sets. And then I do have the Harbor Freight flex head ones that are over here. So we work on a lot of the prevost. We've been using a lot of the metric stuff. These only go up to 19 millimeter on there, and then these are 7/8. So these are they have that kind of unusual angle head on the open end part there. I like that it's in a wrench roll, and it goes 3/8 all the way to 1.25 inches. So big set. Nice and convenient just to grab the wrench roll.
There's our chisel and punch set, so a lot of different sizes, drifts and stuff. Pins, chisels, punches. Yeah, it's a good set. Snap punch. Been working on Lenny here too, upgrading his batteries, adding more storage for the lithium batteries for the house battery system on there. We did a video tour of them yesterday. If you didn't see that, I'll put a link at the end of the video to that tour. Kelly gives a nice tour and talks about some of her experiences in the bus. It's a lot of fun. Watch that one all the way to the end. You'll like it. We're getting ready to add some more house batteries to this bay in my bus. This is a bay I normally carry tools in and stuff. Before we do that, we're going to clean it up, freshen it up here. We're going to put a fresh coat of spray paint on it. Just make it look a little nicer before we put the batteries in it. That turned out pretty nice. I think it looks pretty good in here now. That old paint was all chipping off and everything. It looks good. We're going to make some new battery cables, and I have this hydraulic crimper. It works really good for making these 2-watt cables. These giant batteries are over 8,000 watts per battery that's stored in them. They're 12 volt, but they're hooked up to 24 volt here. And I'm building some brackets here that are going to mount them so they can't slide around, one on each side. I'll put foam insulation under and all around them to make a nice little foam box, the insulated box I'm going to live in. In the summertime, the lid will be off of the box. In the wintertime, the lid will be on it. This is about 1/3 of the total battery storage that we have on the bus here. So that's a nice little box with those lithium batteries. They can live in there and keep warm. Lenny's been getting a lot of maintenance done to him, ready for our trip for Florida. We're going to go to Disney. But before we do that, Monday, we're taking Lenny out to do another bus rescue. We're going to go try and save this old Buffalo bus and get it back on the road. So stay tuned for that video, hopefully coming Monday night or Tuesday. So the owner of Miss Bud here lives overseas, and he's going to be traveling the country here, coming to the USA and traveling in Miss Bud this year with his wife. They're going to go on a vacation in it. So it's been sitting for a couple years. We've been doing some maintenance on it and driving around the property about every 6 months or so. So we're going to get the batteries charged up on it, get it fired up, get it to the shop, do some detailing and cleaning on it, and just some catch-up maintenance on it and get it ready for the road trip this year. So Miss Bud, one of the favorites, that used to be Lance's 4106. Formerly owned by Anheuser-Busch, the Miss Bud Unlimited Hydroplane Boat Series or whatever, Bernie Little, that was his coach, done by Custom Coach, so you've seen lots of videos on that bus. But yeah, we're going to get it ready for him, get it cleaned up, get it fired up here. Let's see what happens. It says it's at 52%, so we'll just let it keep charging. Is this actually, yeah, that has to be on.
Yeah.
Okay.
15 a.m.
Yeah, they're still, those are some big batteries. So let's just, yeah, this is fine in here. We'll just set it closer to the bus. We'll just let it sit out. Does that thing time out or does it keep going?
This one?
Yeah.
It's gone all day.
Okay. Let's let it keep
I
going.
haven't touched it.
Let's see if these batteries are charged enough to start the bus.
That's all right. We'll try it tomorrow. We'll let it charge. We'll just wait till tomorrow. They're old though. I think they're from 2018. I think I see a stamp on there. 18 maybe. Is there another stamp somewhere? But I know me and Lance put those in a long time ago, so they're more than 5 years old. We put those in before we bought the property here, so actually they need to be replaced. But let's see if we can get it started up. I don't know if you can see it, but that battery is kind of swollen there. It's like bulged out. That's not a good sign. Well, those batteries are crap. They've been on the charger for 2 full days now. The charger says that they're at 100%. See it. So that's just a surface charge. There's no cranking amps left in them, so we gotta get new batteries.
This prevost came in, it was during a snowstorm, it was covered in road salt. Now that we got the wheels back on it, we're going to take it outside and get it cleaned up so we can get the road salt washed off of it. Washing buses is a big job. This was really just rinsing off the salt more than anything. We'll give it a good scrub down later, make it look a little bit nicer, but we just wanted to get all that salt off since it's been sitting on there. Well, that was 5 buses we were working on this week here on the property. And then again, we're going to go try and rescue this buffalo this upcoming Monday. Hopefully get this thing back on the road. It's a really nice bus. It's been sitting for about 20 years off the road. It does have an Allison automatic in it, so that's nice. So hopefully we'll be able to get this thing back to Tennessee here at our place. But definitely like, share, subscribe to the channel. You want to continue to watch us go get this bus next week. It should be a real fun video.